Good morning. My name is Lee Manette and I am 22 years old. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to thank everyone responsible for my opportunity to present today. I would like to start by sharing my journey and how I am where I am today. I was born and raised in the Redlands and have lived there my entire life. Throughout childhood, I was known as an energetic kid. I was extremely social and could not stay away from sports. I grew up with amazing parents and sister and overall had a childhood that I wouldn't change. I moved to a high school where a majority of the kids in my grade went to the same primary school, whereas for me it was just myself and a few others. High school was a reality hit for myself, with this idea of fitting into a new group of friends and adjusting to an unfamiliar crowd was extremely uncomfortable. I made new friends but found I was rotating between groups. This brought along unwanted emotions and I started dealing with daily anxiety and depression. I was never captivated towards anything at school, and towards the later years I started using substances, which gave me this feeling of comfort and I was able to be in the present and not think about the future. At this time, I was already feeling anxious and started seeing an overall decline in my mental health. This led to my engagement with psychologists as I felt a subconscious stigma throughout school and did not feel comfortable speaking with others about my feelings. I engaged in further support with psychologists, psychiatrists and DBT programs. These all had benefits for minimizing feelings, but I could not get myself out of the headspace I was in. I struggled to form a strong connection with mental health workers as I felt there was an invisible barrier that made me feel lower than my worker. I was on track to graduate in December 2020, which was the same month I turned 18. In November of that year, I made an attempt to end my life, which resulted with me being placed in intensive care on life support and admitted to a psychiatric ward. It was a similar story for the next year as I continued seeing therapists and returned to hospital. I had no idea what to do, where to go, and to be honest, I had no capacity to comprehend the future. By sharing my story today, I am not looking for sympathy or to discredit any treatment that I've received, but I want to raise a point on what changed it for me. I accessed a service and was introduced to lived experience workers, or known as peer workers. This initial interaction I had, where I was introduced to a worker who has been through similar situations to myself, created an instant bond and comfort I had never had with another worker. I felt less judged and welcomed in the environment by peer workers, and therefore made my voice feel heard. I had struggled in the medical environments with feeling that I did not have a say in my recovery, and I was seen as just purely a number. A peer worker was a light in the dark for me, and I was disappointed I'd never crossed paths with one sooner. After spending time within services that had peer workers, I went on to study and complete a diploma in mental health and land myself a job as a peer worker. I now have recently started studying at QUT doing a Bachelor of Social Work, where I look to further enhance my career in the space of advocacy and tackling social justice issues. Throughout my time working in the field, I've come across so many young people with similar stories of feeling disempowered and having a positive response with peer workers. Bringing a lived experience aspect to mental health work helps people who are currently going through their own journey see that there is hope and that people have made it through these services. I've had young people tell me that if it wasn't for peer workers, that they would not have accessed any services or returned. Peer work is an active role within certain mental health environments, but there is a limitation and lack of resources and support for this role. You see environments within hospitals and community services have minimal peer work staff, which has always made me think. From my own experience, peer workers gave me a voice, gave me hope, advocated for me, and made me feel comfortable enough to be myself. So why is there such a limited amount of these roles for lived experience work when they have such a huge impact on people's journeys? I have now worked in 2 lived experience roles with youth and adults where peer work was a great component of the service delivery, and the outcomes have always been positive. With the study component of mental health services supplying a great understanding of the book smarts and how to support people, lived experience workers also have a component that is unteachable in the fact that they have been through similar services as well. They know how it feels, they know what it's like, and they understand what it takes. I think now is a great time to start working towards positive outcomes for younger people's mental health, and I believe a huge component of that is the implementation of more lived experience roles throughout mental health services. I appreciate your time.